What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I've got a fun one for you today. We're going to be ranking some of the exercises that I've been seeing some pro and amateur golfers executing on social media. If you've been to my channel or seen any of my videos, you kind of know my opinion on the current state of golf strength and power training. So it's going to be a cool video just to give you my opinion on where these exercises are ranked. And you'll be surprised, there's a lot more A and S tier movements than I thought there'd be. Stay tuned, hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting with one that you've probably seen are these cable chops, cable rotations. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't like these very much, only because number one, the intensity is not there. Other than being golf specific, they're not really doing anything for you. Yeah, you're working on some mobility, you're working on the rotation of the golf swing, but as far as strength and power and making gains are concerned, these are not gonna do really anything for you. So I put them at F tier. All right, so now we're going into some unilateral work, some reverse lunges here by Fat Perez. I like what I'm seeing. You got Grant here doing a normal step up, trying to work on keeping that knee caved in. Some dumbbell step ups here I really like. This one by Fat Perez, it's unstable. You're getting some work, but not as much work as you would with like a split squat like that, or even a Bulgarian like Tommy Fleetwood's doing. I love the unilateral work in golf. That way you can work each leg individually, and then when you go to work the legs together, they're gonna work a lot more in tandem and in unison. The variations they were doing weren't the best. Unilateral work or lunges, I rated C tier. Now we're going into some rotational med ball throws. I love these for rotational athletes, especially golfers. Here's me doing some at my gym from a half knee. You can really transfer power through the rotation and you can slam that ball as hard as you can. Really good for power output, really good for rotational power. I rated that one A tier. And the reason that one's not in the S tier category is there's some slightly better things that you can do with the med ball that'll require more power output. We'll get to those here soon. Now we're going to a landmine single arm press from a knee. You see Scotty doing these with a little bit of rotation. One thing I wish I would see from those guys is leaning a little bit more into the press. So you could kind of see that their shoulders were back and they were still pressing like that. I would like a little bit more lean just to get more shoulder extension at the top. Still a really good movement for building strength. I ranked that one a C tier. Now this is what I like to see. Trap bar deadlifts. I love seeing golfers move some weight. A couple of videos of Scotty here. He's even doing a band to add more resistance through the range of motion. Really good movement for overall strength and power. Tommy Fleetwood even going on some cables here. I hope those are measuring some velocity curves. Got Luke Clanton here doing a split stance trap bar deadlift. Deadlift is one of the best movements you can do for overall health, overall strength, and overall power. Depending on how you do that movement, you can load it and go more strength. You can lighten the load a little bit and move it faster for more power. I love seeing golfers do these, and that's why I ranked that one S tier. Now we're moving on to another one of my favorite movements, a landmine rotational press. I love how Scotty is having a smooth transition through there and he's pivoting his hips. You can see this one too with a cable. Luke Clanton's doing the same thing, just a little bit more powerful. Here's some from my gym of me doing this movement. This is a great overall golf movement. Working on timing, working on pivoting, working on shoulder extension, working on rotation, just an all-around good movement. And you can load that bar up a little bit too and move it with some rotational power. Love that move. I'm glad to see pro golfers doing that one. I actually ranked this one A tier. And again, the reason that one's not S tier is as good as that one is, it's really hard to load that one and apply direct force to the movement. Really good overall power movement. I love it for the range of motion and moving powerfully through that range of motion. Now we're moving on to some single arm cable pull and pushes. This is a good one, more for a warm up or more for technique. You can see Scotty here, he's doing a good job of pulling. It's not timed up right and he's not getting as much rotation as they expect. I would like to see a little bit more isolation, maybe bracing your hand and pulling and or pushing. Just the way they're doing that movement, it's not the most ideal for strength and power. Good for rotation, good for maybe a golf accessory movement. So that's why I ranked that one D tier. Now this next one I was kind of split on. The way you're gonna see Justin Thomas do this movement is he's in a split stance, but both of his feet are on the ground. So he's got a good solid base and he's able to load that core with that strap. These are just strapped thoracic rotations. The belt is kind of hooked to a cable and you can really rotate through space under load and controlled. And you're gonna be surprised at how I rank this one, only because the next athletes that you see after Justin Thomas are doing a little bit differently. See, Justin Thomas is good solid stance and he's rotating through, getting that chest to the target. But then if you look at like Luke Clanton, he's got good rotation, but it's a single leg. So while that's good for hip mobility, you're not really getting any strength or power work through that range of motion. Then Tommy Fleetwood is kind of even making it worse with a single leg RDL to like a hip airplane. That one's more for hip mobility, which is a great movement. I love hip airplanes. But when you're adding it to that thoracic rotation, you're not working the best of both worlds. You're actually working kind of mid at both. So not really a good strength and power movement. If it was done more like Justin Thomas, it would have been ranked a little bit higher. But on this one, I actually ranked it E tier. Now we're moving on to a squat row, specifically a single arm cable row. And I like this one because you can see how powerfully Tommy Fleetwood is doing this movement. He's using his hips. He's actually doing a split stance now. And you see how fast him and Luke Clanton are doing these movements. They're fast and they're powerful. And you can load that cable up and you can yank that cable pretty hard. And you can use your hips as well. If y'all don't know, all of your power generates from your hips. So if you don't know how to use your hips in fast and explosive movements, you're never going to be powerful, and you're never going to be powerful through the golf swing. So even though I like that movement, there are still better options as far as upper body pull, power output, and just power output movements in general. So I actually ranked that one B tier. Now this next one y'all have probably seen before. It is a Bulgarian split squat with that single arm row. Like I was talking about, there's better ways to do the single arm squat row. This is a worse option in my opinion to do this row variation. So kind of like I said earlier, you're doing two movements, but you're not able to work the best of those movements together. And so while you're getting a good squat and you're getting a good row, you're never going to be able to progressively overload that in a safe manner, and you're never going to be able to build strength or power. You're kind of just doing work. And while that's good in some cases, it's not the best when you're trying to stimulate muscle growth and work on power output improvement. So I actually ranked that one D tier. Now we're moving on to a landmine squat to press. I really like this one because the landmine squat forces you into really good form. And if you see Scotty here, he's doing that same lift with a band around his feet again, increasing resistance through the range of motion. Again, kind of like the half kneeling press, I would like to see the head go in between the shoulders. Again, just to work on full shoulder extension. Anytime you can work full range of motion in an exercise, it's going to be so much more beneficial for you. So really great movement there. You can really progressively overload that in a safe manner. And I actually ranked that one B tier. Now we're moving on to some dumbbell presses. You can see Luke Clanton here doing a single arm press. The rotation's kind of useless. I would much rather him just hold that press. And then you've got Rory McIlroy doing a good full range of motion dumbbell bench press. I love the dumbbell bench press because you can, again, progressively overload that. You can push yourself. You can do lots of rep ranges. I'm not sure why pro athletes stray away from the barbell bench press. If they were doing a barbell bench press, I would have ranked that S tier easy because it's the best upper body overall strength and power movement. But a dumbbell is a good variation, especially in season or when these golfers are playing tournaments. It's a good way to still stimulate muscle growth, hypertrophy, strength in season while decreasing chances of injury. So I love seeing pro golfers doing the dumbbell press, and I actually ranked that A tier. So those were movements that I saw multiple golfers doing. While some of them were good, some of them were bad, it's nice to see some consistency within the golf training. All of the movements you're about to see here on out, each individual golfer was doing on their own or within their programming. So the videos might be a little short. These are good and some bad movements that I'm seeing golfers doing, and kind of wanted to share my opinion with you on them. So we're going to start with a rotational med ball slam from Fat Perez. I can see why he's lost a ton of weight here recently because he's working working hard. He's doing good compound lifts. Here's a clip of me doing them in one of my workouts. This is a great movement for power output. One of my favorites, actually. I use this with a lot of my athletes. I'm clearly doing these in my workouts. It's a simple, grounded power output movement that you can apply maximal force to. Even in that rotation, you can slam that ball down as hard as you can, bounce it right back up, get it all the way over your head, working full shoulder extension, and slam it down on the other side. One of my favorite med ball power output movements, and that's why I ranked that one S tier. Now, I thought this one was interesting. This is Tommy Fleetwood doing a slosh tube split squat rotation. This is a good movement for core control, for stability, for, range of motion. Again, it's not a really good movement for building strength and building power. That's something that you can work on towards the end of your session, or maybe on a golf specific day, or maybe even on a recovery day. The way these trainers and sometimes the pro athletes are posting these workouts, it's making it seem like these movements are what they're doing to make them better at golf. And while that might be the case, the reason they're good at golf is because they're dedicating hundreds and thousands of hours on the range, lessons, golf practice, golf tournaments, playing golf year round. The training helps, but if you train right, that'll help you even more, and that might even allow you to do those things less. Less practice on the range, less time recovering, less time playing practice rounds. If you can train well, then you'll be more conditioned, more prepared, less chance of injury, and you can play better and play long term. So that split squat slosh tube rotation, I actually gave an E tier. Kind of the same thing with the Bulgarian row. This is just a Bulgarian squat with a rotation. Again, kind of the same thing. It's working decently for both rotation and split squat, but you see how fast he's doing that? He's not stimulating muscle growth. He's not stimulating hypertrophy. He's not progressively overloading the movement. He's kind of just doing unnecessary work. And as a result of that, I rank that a D tier. Now, while Tommy Fleetwood had some really good movements at the beginning, you're gonna see him with not so good movements towards the end of this video. This is a single leg RDL cable cross rotation. One tip that I like to give when programming workouts for athletes, if the name is too long, then it's probably not a good exercise. If he walked in and he saw that on his programming, you're gonna do 10 each side, single leg RDL crossbody cable row. Make sure it's to the chest and blah, 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 blah. If it's too long, it's probably not a good exercise. But if you walked in and said, hey, you got 3 sets of 5 trap bar deadlift, that's something that is gonna be beneficial for you. You can kind of see where this is going. I actually ranked this movement F tier. Then we've got Justin Thomas doing a bird dog row. I like these towards the end of a session, or maybe on a golf specific day or a recovery day, but kind of like the other movements, not very good for building strength and power. So I ranked this one E tier. And we're right back to Tommy Fleetwood doing a split stance rotational row with a banded crossbody press. I don't have to prove my point again. Not a very smart movement, even for like a recovery day. I don't think I would ever program that one. Either way, in my opinion, I ranked that one F tier. And then he bounces back with a single arm cable row going high to low. Look at the range of motion he's getting, and he's pulling that cable with some force. That's a really good movement to program towards the end of your session or the end of the week. You get really good isolation on that lat. You're getting full range of motion. You're pulling that cable, getting chest up, getting full range of motion. I love that for building strength and hypertrophy and power. And I actually ranked that one A tier. And I was so happy to see Scotty Scheffler doing this movement. This is one of my favorite movements to work with golfers. This is just a cable push-pull. What's different with this movement than maybe earlier, like the single arm push or pull rotation, is you're pushing and pulling at the same time. So the weight is equal and you're able to apply equal force in both directions. And by applying equal force in both directions and you're working full ranges of motion, you're able to get that twist and that golf specific movement in both directions. That is one of my favorite movements to work with golfers, and I actually ranked that one A tier. And in this video, Scotty's had some really good movements, but this is Scotty's first L when it comes to training. This is a single leg RDL with a barbell row. One of those more complex movements that you're not really getting the benefit out of the barbell row, and you're not really getting the benefit of the single leg RDL. And especially with a barbell, that is not a very safe position for Scotty to be in. I'm assuming he's a natural athlete, so if he comes back from a tournament, a long weekend of traveling, and he comes in and his trainer's got him doing a single leg RDL barbell row, that could be super dangerous because he's not fully recovered, he's not focused for that training session, and he could possibly injure himself, especially if that spine is not in a locked in position and you can't progressively overload the barbell row. I mean, he's only gonna be able to row as much as he can balance with. So not a very good movement from Scotty's trainer there, and I actually ranked that one F tier. Moving on to Rory McIlroy. He's doing some box jumps. Rory, in my opinion, and I have another video on this, has some of the best training in golf. He's not afraid to lift heavy. He's not afraid to do compound lifts. And obviously right here, he's not afraid to do big power output movements. The box jump is probably the best movement you can do for power output, moving your body through space, being an athlete, rapidly extending the hips. As long as you progress with good form and technique, you can apply as much power and as much force as you want to that movement. I love box jumps. I'm glad to see Rory doing those in his training, and I actually ranked box jumps S tier. Going with Rory again, he's doing another great movement for power output. This is a med ball lying chest pass, and he's working on decelerating force as well and then reapplying it. His trainer's doing a good job of dropping that ball. Rory's able to control the force coming down and then reapply that force coming up. It's hard to work upper body power output other than maybe some like plyo push-ups. He's doing a really good job of being explosive, using max force and max power to get that ball back in the opposite direction. I love that movement, and I actually ranked that one S tier as well. And then we're on to the back squats. My favorite lift, one of the best, if not the best movement for overall strength and overall power. You can see Rory doing a 2-rep max right here. I don't know how much weight that is, but he's got really good range of motion. You can see the effort in his face. He's using all of his effort to move that bar. You got Bryson right here doing 410. Bryson didn't quite get all the way down to depth, but that's okay. I love seeing golfers do back squat. I wish golfers would do more. Here's me, for selfish reasons, doing a 405 back squat, getting all the way down to depth, driving that weight up, nice smooth lift. I wish more golfers would do back squats. I know golfers do variations of back squats, but back squat is the greatest movement for overall strength and power. I love it. I make all of my golfers do back squats or some variations of squats, and that's why I put back squats at S tier. And this was a really quick clip of Grant doing this movement, but I was really happy to see Grant doing this sled row. I haven't seen any golfers do it, but I do it frequently in my training and especially with my athletes. This is a really, really good upper body power movement for pulling. You can load that sled, you can use maximal force, maximum effort to yank that sled back, and then you can do it isolated too. You can use that sled for a hypertrophy movement, dropping those hips, pulling the sled nice and isolated, not using the hips. Really good variation for working on the back and the pulling motion, and I actually ranked that one S tier as well. Again, just a super quick clip of Luke Clanton doing these hip bridges. Another great compound lift for the lower body, working on full hip extension, hip explosiveness, and hip strength for the glutes, the hamstrings, and the lower back. Great movement to incorporate in your programming. I ranked that one A tier. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you agree or disagree with any of my movement rankings, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you have any other movements that you think I missed, also leave a comment. I would love to do a part 2 of this series. I love breaking down the golf strength and power training. Like I said, there's some stigma to it. There's a lot of golfers who feel like they don't need to lift heavy or move heavy weight. I want to break that stigma, so it's really good to just break down what pro golfers are currently doing and then kind of give my personal opinion on it. So make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.